Step out of yourself to jump into your purpose. Have you ever been told you will never, you can never, you won't ever? Perhaps you've even said those words to yourself. Words, judgments, and labels like these is part of what makes us who we are living as. If we are going to move forward in our purpose, discover the full potential of it, and jump forward with passion, it's important for us to know how to step out of what we believe about ourselves. When we step out of how we are perceived, the labels of the world, and what appear to be those limiting circumstances, that's when we find our unique, authentic self and recognize our true value. Finding the truth of who we are and the confidence that that brings is the foundation for resilience, the resilience that empowers us to break through from defeat and the desire for more, to actually achieving it and powerfully walking in our purpose to impact the world. I had had hopes and dreams. They were crushed when devastating words were spoken over me and those dark clouds of gloom and despair just engulfed me. But don't worry, my story didn't end there. I had known that I was made for more and there was a next level. But there I was, stuck in gloom, stuck because of my circumstances. You see, I had been strapped into a wheelchair for 11 years and yet still believed in my potential, believed I was going to make a mark on the world until that one day, the day when I was told, you will never walk again. And for a short while, I bought into that story. I saw myself as crippled, incapable, and worthless, just the same way as I believed that others perceived me. Do you feel like there is a next level for you, and yet you're being held back and don't know by what? You may not be in a wheelchair, but what is holding you back? Perhaps it's doubt, fear, past experience, or even your circumstances that are causing a silent lack of self-belief. When we step out of how we are perceived and the labels of the world and what appears to be limiting circumstances, we develop a resilience that empowers us to break through from defeat and desire for more, to actually creating momentum and leaping into our purpose to impact the world. So I had to step out of who I saw myself as, my acceptance of the labels of the world, and how I believed they defined me, I had to leave behind. And I found, as I looked at the truth of who I was and removed that ceiling that I had placed on my own life, I began to step into my purpose. Before we can step out of who we believe ourselves to be, we need to understand that our self-awareness is the very foundation of growth. We get to take time to reflect on and examine what we believe about ourselves, and if it is in fact true. We should question the truth of the way the world has labeled us, or the mindsets that have been imposed on us, perhaps by the culture we grew up in, or the circumstances we have found ourselves in. And with that new self-awareness, we begin to identify the lies that we believed about ourselves. We begin to see a new truth. Let's not forget that past mistakes, as some people call them, are opportunities to become resilient. They are opportunities to step forward. We can choose to let those fears, let the past paralyze us, or we can choose to see them, just like Thomas Edison did, as a lesson that something doesn't work. Now, you may not be like I was in a wheelchair, but ask yourself, what is it that's holding you back? Is your mindset strapped into beliefs that do not serve you and are in fact not true? Recognizing these barriers is the first part of stepping out of your limiting beliefs, to finding your worth and jumping passionately into your purpose. You see, it's not about the labels that are out there. It's about whether you let them stick to you. It's not about stepping out of who you actually are, but about stepping out of who you believe you are. Have you stopped to ask yourself if those beliefs you have about yourself are actually true? Or are they the result of those circumstances, inevitable judgments, and labels of the world and others that you are measuring yourself by? Well, what if you found a different standard to measure yourself by? The standard that embraces your true potential, and you begin to look at things from a totally different perspective. We all have barriers that prevent us from moving forward, including past mistakes that are common ground for so many. Embrace your vulnerabilities. We all have a past. Fear and doubt are natural and can often be challenging, but they don't have to control us. As we harness these feelings and see things from that new perspective, reinforcing newfound truths with affirmations, community, and accountability, we begin to grow stronger. We begin to find our unique worth, and that is the foundation for our purpose. Each of us is created, as Les Brown says, a masterpiece of the master. We are all created with a divine purpose, and recognizing our ability to achieve it is where we step out of who we have believed ourselves to be and into the person we actually are. As I began to recognize my passions and my value, my unique value, and see how that could impact the world, my passion began to bubble up and it became contagious. I began to unleash my more powerful purpose. I replaced the negative labels with self-belief. I encourage you to step out of your comfort zone. Discover your unique value. Take those actions. Take that very first step today, whether it's the first step ever or the first step in leveling up. Reflect on what you've learned in every instance, because every engagement and experience you have empowers you to jump further into your purpose. What are your strengths? How can these strengths serve others? Passionately seek after that and seek after how it is going to impact the world. You were created with a purpose, and that purpose may not meet the norms of others. Don't let their norms belittle the power of your purpose. And know that your purpose is continually evolving. Recognize and understand that your value is the key. To discovering your purpose, that key needs to unlock the door. You see, purpose is not just about you. Your purpose is about serving others. And as you serve, you invite joy and abundance in. I invite you to take these 5 steps to passionately and joyfully unleash a more powerful purpose. The 5 steps I now teach in my JUMPP mentorship as we explore and evaluate the identity we have adopted and ask where those beliefs are rooted. We do this using my JUMPP framework. JUMP. J for joyfully. Find the joy of embracing your true values, gifts, skills, passions, and natural talents. U, Unleash those gifts on the world from a heart and leadership centered on service. M, more. Have a greater impact by learning and equipping yourself through community, study, and mentorship that fosters growth. And P, powerful. Surround yourself with like-minded individuals who share your values and support your vision. As iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. P, we have an extra one because we serve a God of abundance. Live in gratitude of who you are and what you do have. Dial in on your purpose and believe the world needs you. Recognize the impact the world that deserves to have, you make. These actions will create ripples that will echo into the lives of people you don't even know. Tear off those labels and judgments of the world. See beyond your circumstances. Jump. Joyfully unleash your more powerful purpose so that others can jump into theirs. Thank you very much.